And in the top left-hand corner, the blue Terran player.
Pixel 1, FanTaSy.
Or GuMiho. That's also his other ID.
Okay, all right. All right.
This is going to be a tough one, isn't it?
And in the bottom left-hand corner, in the red.
Storm Gaming.
Close enough.
GuMiho.
Bottom right, bottom left, same thing.
Are you kidding me? Okay, so
It's okay, it's okay.
true fact, I didn't go to first grade as a kid.
Oh.
I was one of those annoying kids, and I skipped from kindergarten to second. So, and like I'm fairly normal otherwise. You know,
That's like the only
close
thing you
to
need as a caster,
But
too.
legitimately, in first grade, I found there are two things that I didn't learn. One is how to jump rope without doing double bound in the middle. Like you learn how to jump rope quickly in first grade,
Sure.
and you also learn how to quickly tell the difference between your left and your right. So I messed that up. I'd say 50% of the time. It's like a coin flip for me. Like I'm just, as a guy who did a lot of marching band,
Just say in the
you
bottom,
would
then.
think. Pro tip from experienced caster Jake: just say the bottom. Figure it out.
You can't be wrong. They're actually like, well, technically, you know, technically you're right.
Oh, geez. It's that and then locusts and vipers. For some reason, I call those two units whatever the heck I want to. I cannot tell them apart for the life of
Me
me.
neither. I don't build either of them. That's the meme, right, guys?
Okay.
Hilarious. So, both getting CCs, Rax, Reaper, everything is very standard. They're both mirroring. Sometimes we see people get a little bit of a later CC and a quicker factory, which is totally fine, a little bit safer against proxies and stuff like that. But I don't think either player thinks they're going to be a proxy Rax on Acropolis.
No, definitely not.
As you can see, there's a supply depot already blocking the Reaper spot for GuMiho, so he's basically pretty safe against that anyways. This could be annoying. Sneaking the SCV is going to go and attack the CC SCV.
Yeah, that'll slow him down just a
Look at
little
that.
bit. Nice play
This
by
is a
GuMiho.
Protoss move. He's learning from the Protosses.
He's picking up from his previous
Look at the Reaper
games.
came home. Yep.
Oh, wow. Yep. Going to delay him just a couple extra seconds here.
Oh.
Oh, but the Reaper... Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a micro battle. If he can get this SCV up.
Blood for blood.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh.
Oh, there's a little bit of a mistake. He
You're
might lose
kidding
it.
me. Whoa.
Oh, okay, that's a huge mistake.
FanTaSy. The collapse from the studio going wild here.
Huge mistake from GuMiho, rather.
All right, we're joking. How big of a deal is that really?
Oh, not if he loses this one. It wouldn't be a big deal at all. He's going to get it. Oh, my God. Okay, well,
man.
not a big deal at all is the answer.
I got all excited. My heart rate got all up. I was doing some exercise here in the chair, and no dice. Nothing at all.
It would be pretty annoying, though, otherwise. It might still be annoying now because there's one Reaper and there's no Reaper for
That's
FanTaSy.
true. FanTaSy adding on a starport.
Hellions are going to kill this. Look at he's getting out. He's like, oh, God. Those are a lot faster than I thought.
You can hear the final bolts getting screwed into those Hellions as they pop out of the factory.
I like that as soon as he saw the reactor, he's like, oh, God. This Reaper might die here. It should die, rather.
Yeah.
It's just going to lead them on into like a random area so that
just distract him as long as he can.
at least they're not attacking the SCV line.
Okay, so first big changes coming out in these builds. We see Medevac on the way from FanTaSy.
The Cyclone, though. Cyclones are so good against what the plan is for FanTaSy. It looks like he's going for Hellion drop. If the Cyclone is well placed and there's a bunker at the Nat, you know, the Cyclone could totally kill this Medevac.
Yeah, GuMi's going to shut that down instantaneously. Now, FanTaSy already is out on the map just a little bit here, so it should be hit very quickly. The Medevac just popping out now. But yeah, I think you're right. GuMiho should be just fine. Cyclone into the main.
Somebody unplugging and pulling back their mouse.
The Medevac should be just fine. Pardon me, GuMiho should be just fine against this Medevac drop.
Yeah, it depends, because there could be a little bit of a mind game. Imagine you send the Medevac in the main, right? And you run your Hellions through the Nat, and there's nothing in the Medevac.
That would be certainly be a mind game.
But he's not doing it. That would be insane. My mind would be literally
Oh my god,
blown.
the Cyclone already there. GuMiho reading his mind. He's got one of those waiters at that bistro in the middle area, spotting
does
for
he
him.
do my plan? I don't think he does. He's going so far.
Oh, he could be repositioning him up there.
The thing is, he's waited too long already. Like, you have like the small window where it's really strong. It's going for double Cyclone drop.
Oh my gosh, GuMiho is saying, oh, hey, dropping mech units in your main base? That's a great idea.
Do you think he might go for it. Do you think he might hunt down that Medevac too?
Do you just run these 4 Hellions right by the full bunker?
The boost. The other Medevac boosts immediately towards the Cyclone, or the Hellions. Look.
Yeah.
It's a little late though.
So Magfield Accelerator coming out from GuMiho, and third CC on the way for FanTaSy.
I like FanTaSy's build more so far, because there's nothing you can really do to hit a timing against FanTaSy, right? Like you can just build tanks and chill. Whereas GuMiho's kind of taking a little bit later third. He's getting the faster shooting Cyclone ability. I don't know what it's actually called.
I think that's Terran Tinder, isn't it? Tanks and chill, siege tanks and chill.
Tanks and chill, yeah, exactly.
Magfield Accelerator, by the way, the name of that upgrade.
Yeah, I'm not very good with upgrades.
You're good at actually playing the game. Okay, so a nice drop here from FanTaSy actually. Should roast a few of these SCVs.
This is really good.
The Cyclone's out of position. That medevac just getting called back. And oh my gosh, those all still alive.
Oh, he
Immediate
disables it.
Oh, disables it. Gets one of. Is going to pick.
He's going to get both. He's going to get the medevac too.
Beautiful.
Oh my god. And the Hellions are still out. Okay, he might lose his
Unbelievable.
medevac, but that's totally worth. Eight SCVs go down.
Absolutely. 8 SCVs, 4 Hellion. There it is. I don't have to do the math myself. Thank goodness. So about twice as efficient
And
there for FanTaSy.
Here's the thing too. The third CC is later. Double engineering play. We actually see Bio though.
Whoa!
We're gonna see FanTaSy play Bio against GuMiho's mech.
I'm
excited.
love my Beck versus. Let me try that again. I love Mech versus Bio. I try to call it Beck versus Mayo.
Beck versus Mayo is my favorite matchup as well.
That's a beer, and then it sounds like an Australian new wave singer, Mayo. Okay, so yeah, Mech versus Bio.
Mech versus Bio is so intricate. I always play Bio as a Terran player, and every time I play Mech, I feel like I'm playing against a brick wall.
Okay.
It's the most obnoxious thing ever.
Well, yeah, those siege tanks get dug in. It's so hard to move out, even with Sting.
The thing is, this doesn't feel like the same style of mech I usually play against. This is more of a mobile mech. And I feel like Bio is generally really good against low tank numbers. If it's like a low tank mech count, like let's say a heavy Hellion, heavy Cyclone or whatever.
Okay.
Marine tank or Marine Marauder tank is really strong.
Interesting. Well, let's see what Gumi does. He's got a couple Vikings coming out already, 2 at a time from that starport, and he is cranking out a tank as well. His second factory did just finish up.
56 workers to 49.
Yeah.
I don't know what scouting we got with the Hellions. I'm not 100% sure if FanTaSy knows this is mech like fully. There's only 2 factories.
That's a really good point.
And only 1 starport.
Wow, that's so many Vikings already out for FanTaSy.
He probably has his assumptions either way. He either scouted it fully already and I didn't see, or he can just assume because it's GuMiho.
Sorry to harp on this point. FanTaSy with 4 or 6 Vikings out already and 2 more on the way.
Yep. This is the most important thing about Bio versus Mech is air superiority.
Sure.
If the Mech player has air superiority, you basically can't do anything. Yeah. Like there's nothing, there's no window. Okay, that's an interesting scan because you see a bunch of Marines and tanks.
Yeah.
If he doesn't know already, this might be a little bit confusing.
Yeah, that might mislead him a little bit. GuMiho dropping double armory, so he is going to be on top of the upgrade game, just barely ahead.
Yeah, FanTaSy doesn't have combat shields yet either.
Oh,
so
no, he doesn't. Oh,
okay, that's bad.
Losing a big battalion of Marines there. Oh, there's nothing back home to defend against this, though.
The Vikings are close, though.
Where
They're like
are
right
they?
here.
Oh, yeah,
they're
there.
right with the tanks. They're
Bottom corner. Okay, there it is. Yeah, so
this is dead. And
no,
only killed 3 workers.
no cloak. Well, 5 kills. The disable from the Raven. That's cute. I've got so much Raven energy. I can disable your Banshee. Try getting away now, baby.
I think the most important thing to really know, because I really wish we had like the ability to talk to the observer,
Right.
is to know if he knows it's Bio or Mech yet. 'Cause
Yeah.
he scanned randomly, which is a little bit strange if you know it's Mech already to scan like that. Okay, there's
Scanning
another scan.
Middle of the map, but not going to see anything. Yeah. I'll try and keep my eyes on the mini-map, but our viewers back home can do the same if
Okay,
they
here we
want
go.
to
They
know.
were checking. I don't think that factory was like that. I don't know.
No.
It's hard to say. Oh, it's only 2 factories still. This is so strange to me.
Yeah.
And we're not adding on more earlier.
And a 4th CC?
Okay, now we know it's Mech.
Yeah, there
There's
it
like
is.
a bunch of tanks,
Hello.
no Marines whatsoever. You're like, okay.
So GuMiho with a 4th CC, is that just for the mules? Is he just desperate here? There's no way he can defend a 4th location,
He doesn't
right?
need to drop it yet. He's just going to chill. He's tanking and chilling like we talked about.
Siege tank and chill.
There's a lot of reactors as well for someone who knows they're playing against Mech. Like, normally you want to add on some Marauders because Marines are really bad against tanks.
Of course. But, man, he's still got 9 Marines. I don't see any Marauders in his build.
I'd love to see a second starport too. Yeah, a second starport would be so sick because if you get your air advantage and then you go into Liberators with Vikings against Mech, it's so strong.
Just destroy siege tank lines. That would be really smart. Let's see if he's
All right,
playing the
now
same 4D
this
chess
is
that you are.
undeniably
You see
Mech.
2 factories being built, 3 factories being built.
Okay,
You go,
immediately
all
the starport go down. Immediately 2 starports go down.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So again, I think FanTaSy listening to our cast.
So
we're
he didn't
influencing
know until now, because as soon as he scanned and knew 100% that it was Mech,
changes.
he immediately throws down the starports, which makes total sense, right? Air superiority being so important.
Absolutely.
He's going to make it really, really hard for GuMiho to take another base as well.
Yeah. Ooh, FanTaSy putting pressure on the low ground here.
Nice.
The structure is complete indeed. Okay.
So
So
this is just going to be really annoying. Like, where do you take your 4th here? You don't want to take the top 4th. It's too spread out for
there's
Mech.
no way you expand it
You
to
want
2
to take
o'clock.
this 4th, but it's kind of hard to take it now.
This Viking number from GuMiho looking really scary. I don't know
might
if there's
get
enough
shot off here.
Yeah. Ooh, trying to draw that bio into under siege tanks maybe. But man, that bio ball looks dangerously small for FanTaSy compared to the number of Vikings
That's
that
okay
are there.
though, because we have so many starports.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, oh, he's adding on 3 starports, 4 starports?
Yep, it's time to
What?
go mech, kinda. We're not going mech, we're going battlecruiser Viking.
Going, yeah,
we're doing
Sky.
everything. We're just
Sky
going
Terran,
Terran.
baby. Oh, beautiful.
It's so important that GuMiho knows this is coming, because then he can also do this. He needs to match it, or else he's gonna lose.
Right away, yeah. In those big Viking fights, as soon as you get like 5 or 10 behind, what
Right.
can you do? Especially with the massive production that FanTaSy's putting on right now.
Yeah, like so far this doesn't look like that. If you're GuMiho and you see this big Biomarine tank army, this looks really standard. You can't really tell how many starports are at home. It's not like we see a million times more Vikings, which you would if you had 4 starports.
I'm really liking FanTaSy's tactic here. Just staying out on the map, staying active, keeping GuMiho back home, and preventing any of that scouting.
But we may miss our last train because this game could play out really slowly. I don't see either player committing to an attack at any point in the future. It either ends abruptly with like a massive Sky army versus a non-existent one, or it draws out really long game. Like imagine Battlecruiser Viking.
That's
games.
okay. We get paid triple if it goes into.
I wish.
Wait.
I wish.
My production director's telling me we don't get paid triple if it goes into overtime.
Yeah, that's okay though. We get paid in games. Actually, does the game just end here?
Oh my
We're
gosh,
way out of
no
position
way.
here.
Yeah, Siege Tank's not up here for GuMiho and FanTaSy.
All the SCVs are here
pushing
too?
forward. Oh my gosh, but breaks that bunker. All the Siege Tanks on the low ground starting to
What?
leapfrog over each other. Are you kidding me?
FanTaSy was not expecting to just win here, by the way. There's no way.
Definitely not. Maybe putting on some pressure, but this is incredible. The Vikings getting better shots
This
off here.
game is
Bio
over.
under the Vikings. He's disabled those 2 tanks as well.
I can't believe he just walked in. Like he's
What?
been posturing this army around for like the entire game, and then randomly he's like, you know what? It's time to go.
Let's poke in here at the second, and then just hits the gas. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
like
And the funny thing is, FanTaSy did not want to kill him here.
No.
He had a million starports at home.
He's prepping for a massive battle. He's got
Oh, you
Liberator
know what he
range
might have
on
been
the
doing,
way.
actually? He might have been ready to trade some of his army to get more
Oh, to
Sky
make that
Toss
supply.
or
Sure,
Sky Terran.
sure.
And then just won the game?
Oops. Oops, I
yeah,
won.
GG.
Oops, all Siege Tanks, and FanTaSy gonna take game number 1. What is happening?
Yeah, that's crazy. GuMiho's got to be feeling a lot of pressure right now. Down on the ropes.
Man, I think that's just straight vodka in his water bottle to calm his nerves, man, at this point. Oh my
It
gosh.
should be. I mean, what a game. I don't really feel like GuMiho made too many mistakes besides that last fight either.
Right.
Like their styles clash in a weird way, and FanTaSy didn't really pick up on it until late point anyway, so it wasn't like he was really being abused by any means.
But then the instant transition there from FanTaSy, I mean, the
That made
shift
sense,
here. Yeah, it was
right.
beautiful. Just as soon as he saw it, shifting over
we
from
didn't
that
even get to
bio.
see the transition though.
He set himself up so well, showing that he still has like a really good mental command of where he sits in this game.
Yeah, so I'm sad we didn't see the 2-hour game. But I did think that would how it would either end immediately, like I said, or we would see a longer game.
Do the trade and go into that Sky Terran like we were talking about earlier. So you're
Right.
GuMiho, you're 3 games up, you're 3 games down. What prayer are you saying right now?
I don't know. I hope I win.
I hope I win. That sounds like a great prayer
Yeah.
for any player. All right, guys. Regardless of what he's praying for, let's go into game number 2.
Fight!
In the top right-hand corner with an amazing attack.
Pixel 1, FanTaSy.
He's almost smiling. Look at that.
I would be smiling if I was him. Imagine you playing Armani. You're like, ooh.
And in the bottom left-hand corner, in the red,
Storm Gaming, GuMiho.
Hope he's not feeling the pressure. It's really hard to not get in your own head at this point. After losing to Armani and being down 1-0, it's
man.
really hard to stay out of your own head. Plus, he sounded a little bit shook in interview and in person. So
Well, every time we talked to him in the interviews, every time the interview we saw, he said something like, I'm a little nervous. After
Yeah.
my performance, I'm a little nervous. I'm a little shaky. I'm not quite all the way there.
you can be the best player in the world, but if you are nervous in matches, you're not going to be the best player in the world.
It's
you
so-
need sheer confidence. You need innovation level, Mario level, Sarah level confidence.
Just right.
To be a world-class player. It's so important that you're mentally in the right position.
Which is so interesting because of our 4 players here today, I feel like GuMiho has a dearth of experience out
Yeah,
on the
he does,
stage.
he does.
He's been doing this for ages now. He hasn't done his
He's won
military
at
service.
GSL.
There's not a big gap in his like his record like these guys like FanTaSy and
Armani.
Armani is the player I was looking at. I only had 4 names to choose from, and I totally blanked.
Wasn't dear.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So yeah, GuMiho, really interesting psychological position that he's got to be in here.
Yeah.
0-3.
It's just so important
in
to
the round
not
of 32.
psych yourself out, not think about the fact that you are down 1. Just play your game. It's really important that you're just playing the best game you can possibly play. Even if you lose, you know, then at least you feel happy about your loss. It's kind of hard to say like that, but if you lose a game where you truly played your heart out and you knew you played the best you could, it's not the same as losing a game you knew you could have played better, or
Sure.
you knew you could have won.
Or if you just cheesed and you were like, I mean, whatever, let's just see what happens.
Sure.
You can't feel good about that one, right?
Yeah, well, I like that. That feels good when I do that. But sure.
Okay, so GuMiho looks like he is going for something pretty standard here. Both players just expanding out, getting those factories added on.
Right.
Again, setting up for a pretty good mid-game play here.
Yep. Nothing's crazy. Looks like we might see a Banshee.
Yeah, Tech Lab is finished there. Marine's coming out.
No stim, so what else could it possibly be?
I don't know, man. I cast a lot of Silver League games. This could be anything for me.
Well, fortunately, that's not one of those games. This is not one of those games.
Thank goodness.
Cyclone. I like the Cyclone versus a Banshee. I think it's just like a hard counter, basically. Banshees really can't do much with a Cyclone.
Cyclones are so versatile, man. In
They're
TvTs.
great defense.
Yeah.
They feel really well defensive. Because really, what can you have? You have Hellions, you have Reapers, you have Banshees. And they're all just terrible.
Against this, the early game Cyclones there. So yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, FanTaSy with a good play. And there it is. Starport swaps over. Cloak immediately starts. What a good call.
Cloak is the only way you can make something happen, though. Like, if you have Cloak, maybe you can dodge a lock-on, or maybe he doesn't have detection. If you don't have Cloak, you're actually really sad.
Yeah.
The question is it 2 tech labs from FanTaSy? It is, right? That's the second tech lab? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That... Oh. He's
going
actually
for
going Cloak
Banshee
himself. That's a little weird, because you're going Cyclone first. Sure, why not? You do whatever you want.
Well, okay, interesting. So FanTaSy scrubs in that Cyclone, which is pretty unusual, to then go for Banshee. But his Banshee doesn't look that far behind,
I'm worried, because
right?
normally you get a Raven with the Cyclone. But
yeah.
And then you literally can hold everything. But if you go Cloak, you don't have the gas, right? His gas count is 30. Yeah, he does not have enough for a Raven after this.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he has to make sure he doesn't lose all his scans. If he's really, really good, he'll know the Cloak timing, and he'll save scans for it.
Okay. Well, let's keep an eye on those.
And
those
he is really, really
numbers
good.
then.
So.
Well, that's true.
He should not just die to a Banshee. That would be weird.
Second Banshee coming out for GuMiho as well, and the first one not out of the map.
Oh, Banshee gets scouted.
Nice. That late Reaper in the 4.5-minute Reaper getting some
And
real
he
work
scouts
done.
Cloak too.
Oh my gosh. Sees
Immediately
everything
an
there.
engineering bay goes down.
Yeah.
I think you canceled Cloak. Yep. Wait, he canceled it, right?
Yeah, he canceled Cloak. So
Cancel
FanTaSy
Cloak and then build a
starts
Raven.
the Raven.
Perfect.
Smart.
This is perfect.
And Gumi's not moving out with that Banshee just yet. There it is. The 2 Banshees moving out. Fine. Are those Banshees on the map
There's
there?
one there.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
That does have Cloak.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of... Is there energy for scans? I don't see it just yet. He's getting underneath, but no scan just yet.
Not there. There might be one in the main.
Maybe. I thought he dropped those mules at about the same time.
He did.
Oh, this could get
Not
some work
respecting
done there.
Cloak Banshee.
Oh, man. So the Banshee already had 2 kills. Let's see what it can get done.
I mean, it's doing so much already. 34 workers of 40.
Raven's still about 5 seconds away from popping out here.
Does he have a scan now?
Slows down the building of the engineering bay.
Oh, Raven.
Oh,
There's the
scan and the Raven.
Oh, but he loses
picks
it.
off the Cyclone. What?
Yeah,
Oh, that hero Banshee with 8 kills.
There's another one.
And the second one undetected as of yet.
This
12
might actually
SCVs have gone
just-
down. Does the game just end? Are you joking?
This game might actually just end.
This is
There's
so
a second
many
Banshee in the
SCV
main,
kills.
right? There's only one Raven, so it can't go between both bases.
Yep.
Unless the second Banshee died.
Maybe he did pick up. There was very low on health, I saw.
I mean,
The Raven was still sticking around, but
19
man,
workers,
what do you do?
26 to
Look at the
44.
disrespect. He's trying to pick off individual Marines here, kiting in and out. GuMiho with dominant Raven performance there. And
Oh,
well,
still alive.
oh, it is still alive. FanTaSy, honestly, just sort of failing to defend.
Ooh, he's going to be careful.
9 kills.
19 kills. SCVs. Killed a bunch of Marines. He has a 3rd CC on the way. GuMiho with a dominating game this time.
Jeez. So as GuMiho, what does your army composition look like when you want to put the kibosh on this thing? You want to play it safe,
whatever
right?
the hell you want. Okay. At this point, you could do whatever. You could even move out. You know, why not?
Just borrow some vultures from StarCraft 1 and head out across the
you
map.
could- sure. I would allow it. That's fine. At this point, it's such a commanding lead. I think what he's doing now is really smart. Like, you're going to feint an attack. I don't think we ever really fully commit because it doesn't make much sense when you're so far ahead anyways.
Sure.
Feint the attack, make him build units, make him not have a 3rd, and then just, make SCVs. And we see SCVs in production. We see the third CC. We see Stim. Like, this is not a committed attack. Uh-oh.
Another engineer. Oh, freeze frame.
Maybe PP? No PP. Okay.
Okay, we're fine. It was the end of an 80s movie there for just a minute. Those Marines were like jumping up to high five, and they had to have that freeze frame for the photo.
Yeah, look at this scan. He knows exactly where you put a tank. Look at that.
Oh,
So beautiful.
gorgeous. The Ravens as well.
You know, that's just that's just sick.
Turret harass? Yeah, forcing out the mining. Oh, man.
Nice cleanup on the Banshee.
Okay. And a Banshee of his own going back, but a missile turret's already there.
If this Banshee kills 20, then we might have
He's
a
got a chance.
Alright, gets pushed away. Only a couple SCVs go down. Does lose it too. Yeah, it's
Ouch.
not
Well, he
good.
canceled cloak, didn't he? Right, so...
Yes.
And yeah, you're absolutely right. Look at that. Feigning the attack.
Yep.
Forcing
Just
some
moving back.
fear and moving back.
Look at this third base. It's fully saturated already.
It's beautiful.
Is it Fantasy's time to feign an attack? That would be a little weird.
With 2 Reapers?
No. Like, oh, he's saying unsiege and move out on the map.
Ah, no, head back. Getting forced back home by the turret harass continuing. That Raven is being so frustrating there in the natural for GuMi, or for Fantasy.
The only thing that there's a huge lead in air, right? I believe there's a sky advantage for Fantasy. I don't see the units tab, but there's a lot of Vikings out
I
already.
didn't either. That's true. I have seen a few out from GuMi as well.
4 Vikings, 1 Raven,
and then
versus
two back
yeah,
home for
4
GuMi.
Vikings, 2. Okay, it's basically even. Never mind.
All right.
Which means this game is really, really favored for GuMiho.
Yeah, the army supply is drawing even, but Fantasy cutting a lot of corners there. And as the game goes on, I mean, GuMiho is just going to get more and more ahead here. The scans going down, the tank lines are being established.
Third is just being landed now.
Oh, this is going to look like a little bit longer
This
TvT.
third base has been mining for 45 extra seconds, basically.
Block it. Oh, almost.
Right. Yeah. It's okay.
Okay, so now GuMi knows the timing of that third base and knows that he's way far ahead now.
Way far ahead.
I mean, he probably had that in the back of his mind, but now he can confirm it.
Yeah,
And
he
we
doesn't
see-
need to do anything irrational. He doesn't need to really make any commitments. He can just play very passive and reactive and just be ahead in basically all stages of this game.
That's exactly what he's doing. Adding on the barracks, getting his +1/+1.
I like the option of going bio. I think if you go mech in this situation, you give your opponent a lot of room to kind of react and to build up.
Okay.
Whereas bio, you're constantly putting on pressure. You're constantly feinting attacks like you're doing now. You can't
Sure.
do this with mech, right?
Well, this is interesting. GuMi getting a tank light up here, trying to cut Fantasy off. It looks like from his retreat route. A couple disables going down on the Ravens. The Dorito cannon is completely on
Oh,
the
he gets
Vikings.
both of them.
So yeah, Fantasy gonna take
Oh
air
my God,
control
wait.
though.
It was kind
Fantasy's
of bad
Vikings
though.
all take out.
Right? Because he got the Dorito dust off, and then he was focusing the Ravens, so all the Vikings were just shooting his Vikings.
Yeah. The Ravens got taken out, but the Fantasy now with a huge Viking advantage. But man, I don't know if it's going to be enough. GuMiho's army is still very, very scary. Picks off the mass repair going
my
down
God,
on the third
never mind.
base, and Fantasy
That
barely.
was a big mistake, though.
Wait. Oh yeah.
This was a big mistake. Like, he focused the... Wait.
He tried to focus on the
too.
CC. Yeah. Oh. Fantasy going to reestablish himself here.
Oh, no. This is a really big mistake
man,
from
GuMi
GuMiho.
losing a couple tanks. Those Vikings worth their weight in gold, forcing GuMiho back.
Yeah, this is very strange. I feel like we're trying to give this game back to Fantasy a little
Fantasy, you had my interest, and now you have my attention. Okay.
bit. Yeah, he did not need to be so aggressive. He lost all of his air superiority. He lost all of his Marines. He lost some tanks. Like, this did not go well at all by any means.
Now GuMiho, I think, still ahead, right? He's got fourth base on the way.
Oh,
He's got a
my
worker lead and a
goodness.
big doom
This
drop
is
going
like-
in.
Yeah.
Straight to the main. Hello.
Okay, this is really, really, really annoying.
Tanks on the high ground. Those Vikings don't do anything.
Look at all the
here.
SCVs are getting shot down. He's on top of the production. What are you going to do? Go up a ramp into 3 tanks? Is that what it is?
Picks off a tank as it pops out of the factory as well. The medevacs are going to take it down. These units are all going to get sacrificed, but at what cost? This is a nice little counterpunch here from GuMiho.
Yeah, economically speaking, he's in a great spot now. I mean, he was
Vikings.
before. Okay,
Oh.
now we're going to clean it up, but at what cost again?
Yeah, Fantasy giving up a lot of those Vikings. His air advantage certainly gone down. 24 SCVs, not one last little
this
Billy
is
in the main base.
This move you usually make when you're behind. You know, like, this is like such a YOLO move. Imagine there's Vikings there and 3 medevacs go down or something like that.
Yeah.
This was a move you usually make when you're behind, but he made it when he was ahead.
That's true. No,
And he took an even bigger advantage.
yeah, I wonder if Fantasy was like a little bit distracted with those. He had 2 Liberators out trying to get some pickoffs, but man.
Just look at the sensor tower, though, right? Like, I think that gap is big enough for the medevacs to fly through.
like a tightrope walker.
Yep.
Straight through that. That's beautifully done. Okay. So GuMiho reestablishing his lead?
GuMiho definitely reestablishing his lead.
Great. He was teetering on the brink of being even there for a minute. But yeah, I think now he must feel more confident.
GuMiho has an upgrade lead as well. So
Oh, he does.
to passively FanTaSy could defend, but this is not looking like a good game. Oh, no, if he sees a huge opening right here, there's going to be 3 siege tanks at your natural. I don't know how you're going to get in position for this.
On the low ground
tank.
spotting with those medevacs, the Vikings arriving as
And
backup.
it's being shot, so that tank is dead. And now we can drop bio in your natural. Good luck. This is
4
going to be nearly impossible to defend.
4 medevacs full of Marines dropping
With
on the natural.
higher upgrades, too.
Oh, it's disgusting to
And
watch.
they're the main, too. Why not?
There
GG.
it is. GuMiho bringing
That was
us-
like the most clean checkmate I've ever seen.
That really was. He set himself up so well, stumbling very briefly, and then just re-establishing his dominance.
We
there
see
at
a
the end.
1-1 now. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
When you work as a team, or just any time.
Well, they're not working as a team, that's for sure. They do not see each other as teammates right now.
Definitely not. I mean, this is losers match. Coming down a best of 1 series now for GuMiho to potentially go home.
And FanTaSy as well.
I mean, either one of these players, goodness. This has been, the round of 32 this year has driven me insane. I mean, we had a lot of upsets last time, but this time I feel like...
Did Maru not go out of the round of 32?
No, he's through.
No, before.
Well, yeah, he did. So Maru got taken out in Season 2.
The best Terran player in the world got knocked out in the round of 32.
And that happened, I think he was in Group A, so it happened immediately, and we were like, all right, this season's going to be nuts.
Yeah.
But for Season 3 now, I feel like it's been a mixed bag, you know? Some upsets, some of the normal guys going through. I'm just on my tiptoes the whole time. Let's see what happens on Game 3 in Kings Cove.
Fight!
In the bottom right-hand corner, building a spotty next to the gas refinery. See that?
Pixel 1, FanTaSy.
That was very impressive.
Coming up with new things to say.
Your words per minute, doing a great job. All right, let's see if I can. Okay. FanTaSy. Determined as always, less smiley than he was last time on camera. And here we go in the top left-hand corner in the red.
Storm Gaming, GuMiho.
It's a 6.5 out of 10 for me. Not bad.
Didn't stick that landing, though. It was too
Not
much.
bad.
It was too much.
Alrighty. So,
Seer on Game 3. Obviously.
Kings Cove is an interesting TvT map. There's a lot of areas where you can be really abusive if you get into them. Looking at the third base, there's ledges. There's ledges in towards the natural. 2-base timing could be kind of scary. I'm no Terran player, but I've dealt with it a lot, and it's really annoying.
Yeah, man. My favorite part of Kings Cove is the middle of the map here, where there's like let me start over. The middle of the map.
It's okay.
Where there's that narrow channel that you have to go through.
Sure.
With the high grounds on either side. I'm always so afraid in my games that I'm going to walk through
game,
that.
no? Or a different map? You're talking about Cyberforce?
No. There's 2 little high grounds at the like the 6 o'clock and the or pardon me, the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock with the destructible rocks on top of them. And there's that narrow little choke in the middle. It's very similar,
right.
But slightly different. And
I know
nervous.
Cyberforce, where that's like actually impenetrable. You're like, that's basically just destructible rocks all the way through.
The one square where it goes into that valley. Yeah, that's a terrible one. I'm always nervous when I move a bio army through here. Like,
it's very rare that
TvT
TvT army just like meets in the middle.
Right.
How many games do you see where they're like both ready to attack? And you're like, I'm going to attack you, and he's like, no, I'm attacking you, and then they fight in the middle. Like,
I feel like I see it a lot more in ZVT games where you're trying to push through that creep, and there's always that fight with like Zerglings and Banelings.
ZVT is like that because you want to keep pushing back the creep, so you kind of have to fight in the middle. That's usually where the creep kind of evens off.
Okay.
If you go too far more forward, then that's close to the Zerg productions. They push you back. If you go too far the other way, then it's Terran production.
Okay.
So you kind of get this like weird of like, it's like Dragon Ball Z or whatever, where like they're shooting beams at each other. It's kind of like what a creep clearing is like.
I love that analogy. It's like I think they stole that trope for StarCraft.
That trope is like literally everywhere now. But yeah, that trope. Okay, it's that trope where their beams are like shooting at each other.
I mean, if it's a StarCraft cast, we have to call it Rock Shear, right? Isn't that what it is? It's the Protoss fighting each other just like that. But I'm all for the Dragon Ball Z thing as well.
I don't. But I think I played the campaign fully. I don't know. I'm not a lore man. I'm more of a StarCraft man.
I think I only know Rock Shear because it was the name of one of the seasons last year, maybe.
What is this wall off? Do you see this wall off?
That's super odd. Getting the cycle
it
out
works.
Again.
It is a wall off.
Yeah.
Sure.
Interesting. Okay, so 1-1-1 from FanTaSy.
Is that a third CC or a natural? Is natural CC that late? It's just a natural.
Yeah, it's just a natural.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we may see another Banshee game this game.
Yeah, this is exactly the same thing we saw last time, right? With GuMiho just a little bit behind on his starport, but a little ahead on his natural.
It's because GuMiho's natural, faster. Ooh, nice. Gets the SUV.
Yeah.
Oh, hello? Okay, even a couple seconds there can be really annoying.
Yeah, swap over, Cloak Banshees again. Is Gumi going to go into Cloak Banshees also?
I mean, why not? He did so well last time. The only thing is he didn't build a Cyclone last time, and it was much faster last time.
Yeah.
So probably not, actually.
And then
there's
Starport,
the medevac.
Medevac straight out. So, ooh. Okay, and no second barracks just yet, so probably not a big drop early in the game. But just going to support himself.
Yeah, we're just chilling.
He's
I don't
got a
think
lot
either
of
player is going to
options.
go crazy, like aggro now. I think we're just going to chill.
It's a classic Game 3 situation, right? Both players just sort of feeling it out, playing very cautiously, giving themselves lots of opportunities to move down the tech tree in any direction that they want. So no Banshee from FanTaSy, interestingly. Straight to Raven.
I like that. It's a bit safer. I mean, especially after he got punished so hard last game.
Yeah, man.
He's probably just like trying not to cut any corners and not fall behind in the early game, because I think he saw that first game as like a true, dominance, true assertion of dominance. And if you play such a clean and solid game, as long as you don't just get robbed, which is probably how he feels, just play the game out and win.
I could win in a fair fight. Why would I not make this a fair fight?
Exactly. So both players kind of just respecting all options from both players. So that's why we kind of get a bit of a passive fudge. I'm wondering if this will actually do anything. It usually doesn't.
Got 6
Oh, he's going to
Marines
get a
up
supply
on the high
depot, though.
ground. Okay. Free supply depot. Never bad. That's the right price to pay for a supply depot.
These Marines are like, you know what? We can't do anything about that. That Marine's like, no, I've got it, boys. Everybody hold my beer, and then dies. It's like, well, close enough. You know what?
It went from hold my beer to pour one out real fast.
Yeah, that poor Marine. He tried. All right, so yeah, again, no crazy things happening. 41 workers at 38. There's really not much going on. Third CC on the way.
Second medevac for Gumi going to join this
and
attack.
And the third CC on the way as well.
Yeah. Tank already out for FanTaSy. This is really interesting. Gumi's going to get pushed away.
Oh,
the disable.
This is so
beautiful.
big. He's going to get 2 Cyclones and a medevac for free.
You're kidding me.
Oh my god. Okay, well that's really big. It's not game-endingly big, but it's just so obnoxious. Unless this comes in and does a bunch of workers.
What a big win there for FanTaSy. Let's see if GuMiho can even the scales. FanTaSy checking into his army, but pushing back out. FanTaSy's army going to be out of position here.
Yeah.
Gumi's drop going straight into the main,
tank?
completely
That is a
unscouted.
tank and 4 Marines.
My dear Aunt Jemima.
The only thing is it's so little that you can actually pull SCVs here. Okay, he doesn't go for the attack.
Okay, 1 tank shot. Looks like only 1 SCV going down. FanTaSy immediately recalled, but again, his army's so far out. Hard to engage into that siege tank.
Yeah,
Needs to focus fire something down, though. Okay, FanTaSy's tank going up as well. Going to push those Marines back just a little bit.
I like how he's just swapping add-ons and stuff and pretending this doesn't exist. There's another disable available, but there's no reason to do it.
Yeah, army out of position there for FanTaSy.
We're actually kind of evening out based off of all these trades. Like, the double medevac, or the medevac dying with 2 Cyclones is a pretty big deal, but that was also a pretty big deal. And it looks like FanTaSy actually wants to take the aggression to GuMiho.
Yeah, which is interesting, is Gumi's building a starport. Oh, canceled. Did he finish that starport?
Finished.
Finished the starport and another factory
the big thing
as well.
Here is the Raven count. What is it, 1 to 3? 3. That means we can disable infinite siege tanks.
Infinite siege tanks.
Infinite.
That's terrifying.
I don't care if you
here.
have 20 siege tanks. You could disable all of them. Look at that.
I'm
See
not
that
gonna-
energy?
I'm not going to check your math, but I'm going to trust you on that one.
Yeah, it's infinite, trust me.
Yeah, okay, so he only has 3 siege tanks out.
So what do you do? How do you stop this? This is a huge push
Oh
with
my
no
gosh. He's
no
gonna scout
position.
it
He's
as
coming
well.
down the ramp.
Not
Okay,
even
here we go.
sieged up yet. They're going to go for auto turret. They're not even going to go for the disable.
Yeah, why not?
The disrespect. Gumi not sieged up here, and FanTaSy able to siege up on that ramp, pushing the third base back, and the Marines might actually be able to gun this thing down.
Yeah, you know what FanTaSy's doing on the other side? He's building SCVs. He's not caring. He doesn't get this, right? That would be insane if he got this.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
massive repair going down for those SCVs, but still dislodging GuMiho from that third base.
I love this. From
Counter
GuMiho.
drop.
GuMiho recognizing that there's truly, he's in a truly bad spot. This is the best way to actually do something.
FanTaSy's Reapers are killing SCVs at 7.5 minutes. What is this?
Okay, we actually find a bit of an opening here.
This is nice play from GuMiho.
If he can
Counter
kill 8
punching.
workers, then it's almost even.
Forces the pull from the third here, gunning down the third, gonna move straight up into the
Leaves
main.
1 Marine behind. That's really cute.
Vikings here to try and take up. There's not enough Vikings here. The medevac is gonna get away, and okay, TH Tank has arrived. Should be able to clean this up. But I mean, 5 SCVs. That ain't too bad.
Yeah, the only thing is, how do you take your third?
Yeah, FanTaSy really entrenched in this position, like it's the Maginot line. Unable to get driven back at all. 4 siege tanks and 3 Ravens?
And the thing is, you can't take any other third on King's Cove. It's just not possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love the Lib, though. Lib can actually push this back.
Yeah.
So we instantly see an unsiege. We're probably going to give up this position completely. Okay, we're not. We will definitely see it being pushed back eventually, though.
Yeah, the Liberator definitely going to make that done, but he does have enough bio here where he can put the bio in front of those tanks and continue to get good positioning, and as long as he doesn't get drawn into that siege tank fire with his whole bio army, he should be able to continue to aggress this position for a little while, right?
Yeah, he just wants to delay this third as long as possible, but he knows he has to give this up. There's a you don't want to overcommit and lose this army here.
Yeah, that's something we talked about in game number 1.
Oh,
wow, massive disables going down. He's going to move forward with those Vikings. The Vikings getting on top of the Vikings.
There's no bio here. There's no bio here?
There's nothing. The disable's going to run out. FanTaSy going to be forced backwards here. I think the Ravens are probably out of energy by now.
The Ravens are, definitely.
But there's enough bio from FanTaSy that, what is he going to do, man?
Yeah, this is such a bad spot. I mean, look at the economies. Like, the economies have just been so much better for FanTaSy for so much longer.
Man.
Also, I'm not 100% sure. Do we see the production? Is he going mech again? I see Hellions in production. He has to be going mech, right? He's 2 starports.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, okay, he's being greedy then.
Whoa, okay. Okay.
He's already trying to win the air army. I like this play, and I think this is kind of why FanTaSy has so much position right now, is because of the lack of bio and the lack of ground army.
Yeah.
But in the long run, if GuMiho was able to take his third base, he'd be in a way better spot.
FanTaSy's bio completely down to the south side, away from these tanks right now, and GuMiho going to push out on top here, disabling all the tanks.
Where's the bio?
The bio's down at the just outside the natural position, outside that ramp, and
why?
he hasn't moved it in. I think he was going to try and do a counterattack and surprise GuMiho.
Oh no, we're losing all of our Vikings, and we were behind a starport.
Oh, FanTaSy with a crucial error here. Let's see if he can get something done on this counter, though.
Not going to work, right?
I don't think so, man. It's a lot of Marines.
Whoa, you're
pulling
putting SCVs the wrong way.
Oh, watch these SCVs just exploding.
Why wouldn't we? Okay, sure.
Look at that number ticking up 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Do you think GuMiho actually doesn't care about SCVs? Because that feels really strange. You could have just ran those away.
Man, I don't think GuMiho has quite the army to not care about SCVs at this point. His air army is way ahead, and the Liberator are going to do a good job. And it might clean FanTaSy up, but FanTaSy is...
We're cleaning it up.
Yeah, okay. So
FanTaSy, we just lost 20 SCVs, though, for no reason. Imagine this. We're in the exact same position, except we have 66 SCVs to 73.
Totally different world.
Totally different world, right? Sure, the Marines are a little bit harder to deal with, but realistically, there was no reason we couldn't have just backed up.
Yeah, I mean, FanTaSy's tank count is healthy to be able to defend his third base.
And now we're going to see a really passive game from GuMiho because he has to catch up economically.
Yeah.
It is 4 CC, so it's not that bad, but...
I mean, it's still 20 workers
losses,
behind. Yeah, that was... so, FanTaSy had a really interesting strategy to leave that bio army. He did, at the cost of pressuring that third base, he gave up those bio
gamble,
units.
though, is the thing.
Yeah.
Like, if there was even one tank in range over there, those Marines would have done nothing,
That's
and
true.
you could have lost your other army. The only thing, though, is we see the starports and the fusion core going down. So we see the same thing happen the first game, except this time, both players are going to the Sky Terran army. So
Beautiful.
We'll have to see how this plays out, but I feel like this is going to favor FanTaSy, especially with bio. Bio actually kind of synergizes better with it because Marines shoot up and tanks do not. But we'll see how this plays out.
So how many Liberators do you need before you start switching into battlecruiser production, or you just go straight to BCs from here?
Well, we don't go straight to BCs. I don't think so, at least.
You
want at least enough to be able to push the tanks back first.
Sure.
And we see Liberator range. We probably won't see BCs until one person's going to flip the BC switch and the other person's going to be like, oh, now I have to flip the BC switch
Just
too.
like when Phoenix Wars start in a Protoss game, and they're just like, okay, click, 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 click.
I don't think either player wants to gun towards it, though.
Yeah.
It's a really big transition, too. Like, they're really expensive. They're really slow to make.
And I feel like those BC games are a lot of a gamble sometimes, depending on how Yamatos go down and everything. Nice little run by here. The landed Viking should clean it up. Only 5 SCVs, so it's what GuMiho needs to do, but he's just not getting enough done, I don't think.
Yeah, this is good, though. Pulling all the SCVs away from 4 Hellions.
Sure.
What else are you going to be doing with those Hellions? This is perfect. Anything that keeps FanTaSy from just, like, attacking you, because we saw what happened last time that happened.
GuMiho scrubbing into Thor. Is that a misclick or is that intentional?
Now, Thors are good against Libs.
Sure.
So
okay.
We build a couple Thors, keep those Liberators from sieging up on top of our tanks, and yeah, it's better than just infinite tanks.
Man, this is great. Both of these players
Ooh,
developing really robust armies here. I really like this. It's going to be a lot of fun as this game goes further. Oh, a cute little drop here from FanTaSy, pushing away all. Let's see what he can pick off here.
Pick off a lot, I think. We need better turret placement, especially if we're playing the mech game.
Yeah, FanTaSy not focus firing anything down, it doesn't look like. Oh, man. 4 SCVs, not worth it.
Yeah, but again, we got to factor in mining time and just like the ability, like every action is a resource at the pro level.
That's true.
If you're doing things like dealing with 4 Marines in your main and your other person's like macroing fully, or they're taking bases, or they're positioning, or whatever.
Ooh, look at that upgrades tab.
It's a big difference.
Ooh, FanTaSy. That early game, that keeping him off his GuMiho off his third base for so long is paying off now. 10 minutes later.
GuMiho's upgrades are finishing now, but still so strange to have such a huge difference.
Wow, yeah.
He's getting ship weapons before anything else. He's clearly committed to the attack. That's actually the most important upgrade, though. So
sure. Okay, a scan here
look
from
at the Viking
FanTaSy.
counts.
Wow, this is insane. These 2 armies just getting set to posture. Oh man, guys, buckle up. It's about to get messy here.
There's no Ravens from either?
1 Raven from FanTaSy.
Okay.
So not significant amounts of Ravens here, but tank lines being established. Air armies
We're
just
entrenching.
waiting. Oh man, oh man, oh man.
Good luck commentating this one, by the way. Okay.
All right, so here it is. GuMiho moving forward. Dorito Dust goes down on a lot of GuMiho's fights here, but FanTaSy has a really good arc here. The Siege tank's getting a lot of shots off. Liberator's really doing great work pushing GuMiho's tanks back. The Viking count's relatively even so far, 15 to 10. FanTaSy a little bit ahead here. Let's see how the focus fire is. There it is. GuMiho forced to retreat to his tank line. I think FanTaSy coming out on top of that.
Yeah, this is really, really bad. Like, the turrets only prevent you from moving so much further. If he gets on top of this base, it's basically the beginning of the end.
And there's only one.
Oh, that Thor just walked into a circle and died.
Ouch. Siege tank shelling down on the turrets now. GuMiho clinging on for dear life here.
Oh, he's one-shotting
nice
Vikings.
Focus firing there by FanTaSy. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, this is the beginning of the end. It's going to be really hard to stop the constant pushing forward and pushing back of the tanks. Once these tanks get in range of this base, this is critical economic damage.
This is incredible. FanTaSy only has 4 tanks out, but that one Liberator makes such a big difference. Here we go. Mass repair going down. The SCVs just sacrificing themselves to the gods of Liberator. The Viking fight is actually going in GuMiho's favor just a little bit, but reinforcements from FanTaSy arrive, and he's going to be able to one-shot. There it is. GG with the HA.